going on, guys? It's Cynical and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts 3 video. In fact, welcome to the very first Kingdom Hearts 3 video ever, like with the actual game itself. Yeah, no, with like literally playing the actual game. You guys can see it. It's right here in front of us. So guys, what's going on? It's Cynical and welcome back to another video. I thought that I would quickly give you guys a Kingdom Hearts 3 video before launch of the game. Now, I'm sure that quite a few of you guys probably won't tune into this video only because you want a fresh, clean slate experience, but I am actually able to upload some content for the game before the actual launch, with only being able to cover stuff to do with the worlds of Olympus, Toy Box, and Kingdom of Corona. Now, in this video, I thought that we'd just do a little bit of mucking around in the Olympus world, seeing as this is the world that we've seen the most of. Do not worry, this video is not going to contain any story spoilers, but of course we will be running around the world of Olympus. Now, at this point, I'm about 5 or 6 hours into Kingdom Hearts 3, and I gotta say, I'm absolutely loving the experience thus far. Now, like I said, this video is going to be pretty simple and sweet. We're not going to be doing really anything in particular, but more so just kind of playing the game. I also thought I'd talk about the stuff that I'm liking about Kingdom Hearts 3 so far as well. I think point number one is, oh my god, this game looks so fucking good! Like, look at these water visuals. Look at the grass! Look at Hercules' cape just gently flapping in the wind. But no, point number one I gotta say about Kingdom Hearts 3 is the visuals of this game are absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm blown away. I'm playing on a 4K display at the moment right now. There is also some graphics options for Kingdom Hearts 3 too. So there are two different graphics options for Kingdom Hearts 3. The first one is default mode and the second one is stable mode. Now, from what I've gathered so far, I believe that stable mode is more so for 4K displays. So if you are playing on a PlayStation 4 Pro and you want to make use of that 4K, then chuck it into that of stable mode. Otherwise, I have found that default mode is the mode where you will get the best performance in the sense of, you know, about 50 to 60 frames. And speaking of the actual frame rate, I mean, you guys will probably notice that the game is running very, very smoothly. Kingdom Hearts 3, when playing on an Xbox One X or PlayStation 4 Pro, from what I've actually found out, does not actually boost the frame rate of Kingdom Hearts 3 to a specific frame rate, but more so just unlocks the frame rate. So, as of right now, the game is most likely running at about 55 to that of 60 frames. It's smooth. Have I had any sort of performance issues with the game so far? There's been a couple of instances where there's a lot of stuff going on at one time, where you've got a lot of Heartless, and they're sending out attacks with all their particle effects. Things can get a little bit sticky, but so far, from about the 6 hours that I've played of the game so far, I really haven't noticed too many performance issues. But the game surprisingly runs really, really good, considering just the sheer amount of stuff that can go on at one time. Otherwise, the general feel of the game, I don't have a definitive opinion as of right now. It's definitely enjoyable, and I kind of am having the time of my life, but the sort of feeling of Kingdom Hearts 3 for me at the moment is definitely a Kingdom Hearts 2 crossover with a 0.2 hybrid, and I think this is definitely something that we were obviously expecting. The floatiness is definitely not as apparent, and I will definitely be talking about all of these different aspects and areas when I get my full review out for the game. But the floatiness, it is still in Kingdom Hearts 3 and has been a pretty big discussion point ever since people were first able to play the game during May of last year. It's there, but it doesn't exactly hinder the gameplay experience overly too much. I look past it, and the reason why is there is just so many options when it comes to combat that a lot of the time you don't actually use just the base combos. Sure, you do here and there in order to be able to activate a situation command, and I guess you could also say that the base combos are essentially the glue towards situation commands being able to be activated. But as you guys can see, I'm doing some combos right now. I'm actually doing an aerial combo, so yeah, you guys will notice that I don't even know if it's like a second stall. It probably isn't even that, but Sora stalls for like a few milliseconds type of thing after he has taken his final swing while in mid-air. He sort of stalls there for a little bit, then drops to the ground. Yes, that floatiness is still apparent, but again, like I was saying, I think it really does kind of work with Kingdom Hearts 3. That it's not as intense as BBS's, and that because there are just so many different combat options, you really don't notice it all too much. I thought I'd also mention this one other thing too, but one idea that I know a lot of us got in our heads when we first saw a lot of the footage for Kingdom Hearts 3 was that we were able to pretty much traverse up essentially anything, and we quickly found out during the Kingdom Hearts 3 premiere event that this is actually not the case, and I don't know how this would work, being able to traverse over absolutely everything. But yeah, you can only traverse on certain certain walls and certain surfaces that obviously have that sort of white glow going on. The traversing is interesting. I don't know if I actually mentioned this in my initial earlier review for Kingdom Hearts 3, but the traversing sometimes can seem a little bit stiff and a tiny bit awkward. If you guys have played the demo, then you probably do know what I am talking about here. I do like the whole parkour thing. It is used quite a bit throughout the levels, but not overly too much, which is good considering that parkour is essentially automated. But yeah, the attraction flow rides as well, we're using the pirate ship right here. A lot of fun to use. A lot of the attraction flow rides and team attacks are automated, but then also a good amount of them gives the player a certain amount of control over what you can do. For an example, like Goofy as well as Donald's starting limits, which is Duck Flare and Goofy Bombarder, I believe, those are like completely automated. They're just like one simple attack. And same can also go for some attraction flow rides where you're really not doing too much other than pressing like one button. However, some of the attraction flow rides and limits are a little bit more involved. Personally for me, like for my playthrough, I'm honestly trying not to use the pirate ship overly too much because one thing that I have noticed is it's a little bit boring to use with just pressing X, and it's actually like really powerful. The pirate ship is really strong considering that you essentially just start using it straight off the bat. Waves of Heartless really aren't too hard to defeat when you are using the pirate ship. Now, of course, attraction flow rides are completely random and area dependent, so it's not like you have full control over whenabouts you can summon forth the pirate ship. But still, this was actually one thing that I was saying in my initial review when I was playing the demo was there isn't any sort of gauge towards being able to use these attraction flow rides, and that they do appear at random, and so far I have noticed that they are quite powerful. However, the one thing I have noticed though is that situation commands do not pop up as frequently as they once used to in the demo, which was definitely one thing that was sort of rubbing me the wrong way, considering that you were just getting essentially force-fed all of these situation commands. Basically, Sora was at a point where he was like untouchable, so really glad they decided to sort of slow down the rate in which situation commands pop up. Also, just randomly, I didn't know this was here because I'm essentially just walking around the world while talking about things, but yes, we have come across one of the rare Heartless. This one right here is the cherry one. I'm yet to even try out any of these rare Heartless mini games. The other thing I thought I would also bring up is Flow Motion 2. We know that Flow Motion was an absolute mess when it came to Dream Drop Distance. Yeah, even though it was a lot of fun, it was extremely overpowered with just being able to constantly keep spamming Flow Motion attacks. You can't really do that this time around in Kingdom Hearts 3. I mentioned this in my demo review, but you can no longer spam Flow Motion, jump and zip all around the place. Essentially, yes, you can dash into a wall and activate Flow Motion, as you guys can see here, but you can't really do too much with it, and trust me, I'm really happy about exactly this. I know when we first found out that Flow Motion was coming back for Kingdom Hearts 3, a lot of us were worried. We didn't want that mechanic to return. Although, yeah, Flow Motion is a lot of fun to use, you gotta admit, it's a little bit broken. They have certainly toned it down in KH3. No more zipping around like I said. There is a basic Flow Motion attack. There's a couple of other ones too, but for the most part, I really haven't found myself using Flow Motion all too much. It definitely isn't one of the core abilities of KH3, like it was in Dream Drop Distance. The game of Dream Drop Distance was basically designed around using Flow Motion. This time around, not so much. World sizes and all that too, I'm really impressed by. So far, like I said, I've only played about 5 or 6 hours, and the only world that I've actually gone to so far is Olympus. And I gotta say, I'm really impressed by the world size. We know that verticality is something that Square are focusing a lot more on this time around, as well as more vast and wide open areas. And just from this gameplay alone, you guys are probably noticing these exact aspects sort of being focused on in Worlds this time around. I won't say that Worlds are on a level where it's open world. Again, I've only seen Olympus so far, so my judgment's primarily based off of Olympus, but they are definitely more vast, and there is a lot more verticality going on. They're not on the level of open worlds per se, but they are definitely bigger than any other worlds we've been to previously in any other Kingdom Hearts game. And right here I found a sneaky chest that I didn't grab, so let's open that bad boy up. Shield bound. Beautiful. But just from Olympus alone, I have definitely noticed the, greater focus on verticality as well as wide openness. And I mean, Dream Drop Distance, looking at the worlds in that game, they definitely had a greater sense of verticality, and they were a little bit more vast than previous worlds, like in Kingdom Hearts 2 or Kingdom Hearts 1, but The problem with Dream Drop Distance is the hardware limitations. It obviously was a game for the 3DS, so it meant that Square Enix couldn't actually fill those worlds with, you know, more things. This is the first HD Kingdom Hearts title, and it really does show. These worlds are filled with all sorts of cool things, like lots of breakable and interactive objects, things to bust down to open up shortcuts or hidden compartments where treasure might be contained. And going back to the world size thing, as we know in previous Kingdom Hearts games, worlds are sort of divided up into areas with transitional loading screens. Using the Olympus world as the example, Olympus is split into 3 different areas. One is Olympus itself, the other is Mount Olympus, and the third is Thebes. And there are transitional loading screens between each of those areas. As we know in previous Kingdom Hearts games, worlds usually consisted of about 5 to 7 different areas, all divided up by loading screens. And generally these areas were relatively small. Well, Kingdom Hearts 3, it does have those loading screens. They're still there, like I said, with Olympus having 3 of them, but there's a lot less of those loading screens going on, with the areas being that much bigger. One last little thing that I am definitely impressed by so far, and obviously not containing any story spoilers, but the writing for Kingdom Hearts 3 that I've noticed so far is really, really good. And I didn't just notice this from, you know, actually playing the game, but I noticed this prior, even in trailers. With some of the voice cutscenes that we got to see, I noticed that, yeah, the writing and the dialogue for this game seems really good, like in a different atmosphere compared to the dialogue and writing in previous entries. Now don't worry, that normal Kingdom Hearts nonsense, you know, darkness, darkness, light, key, heart, darkness, light, yeah, all of that is definitely to be expected. But in the little amount of time that I have played, I've noticed that the humor is just so much better this time around. What I will say is Donald is an absolute jokester. You guys will definitely know what I'm talking about when you play the game for yourself. And like, I've found myself genuinely actually laughing at some of these cutscenes. And sure, I've done the odd bit of laughing in previous Kingdom Hearts entries, but the writing this time around just seems that much more enjoyable. There's just something about it. I am obviously yet to experience a very large portion of the game. I've still got a long way to go, but from what I have seen so far, it's really, really good. And also it goes perfectly along with the fact that, like, facial animations are a lot better this time around, considering that, yes, this is the first HD Kingdom Hearts title, so you'll just notice that characters are so much more expressive. It's almost like we're kind of seeing these characters in a different light. One that's not totally foreign or anything like that and is bothering, but one that's certainly enjoyable. But that's basically it, guys. I just wanted to get some gameplay out, making use of this early time that I do have, while I do have it, obviously. But those are just my sort of first initial thoughts on Kingdom Hearts 3 so far. My thoughts are still similar to what my thoughts were when I played the premiere demo back in May of last year. But now being able to fully sit down and indulge and, you know, properly play the game, going through all of the mechanics and taking my time with them, I can say that, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 for me so far definitely feels like a 0.2/KH2 hybrid. Floatiness is still there, but it's not too much of a hindrance, considering that there just is so much combat variety. KH2 fluidity is certainly there, but I wouldn't say it's there in absolute full force. All around, I gotta say that so far I am absolutely blown away by Kingdom Hearts 3 within the short amount of time that I've been able to play. But that is essentially it, guys. Now, do keep in mind that my Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough will be dropping sometime today, like within the next few hours type of thing. Kingdom Hearts 3 officially launches in New Zealand pretty shortly, so as soon as it hits midnight here, it means that people are going to be able to start downloading, playing, and indulging in Kingdom Hearts 3. However, guys, that is all for today. Episode 1 is not too far away, so I do hope that you guys catch that once you've played your first portion of KH3 for yourselves. With all that being said, though, guys, I'm Cynical. Hopefully you dudes are having an absolutely fantastic day, and until next time, guys, I'll catch you later. Peace.
Hit them on the page, you'll be coming through stunning. Go dead my mouth when you suckers be bluffing. Milk crank, gaming up the bitch though. Catch me in the back playing Super Nintendo.